April 2012, a new ranking showed up in players' profiles. It was known as question mark, and for a while, nobody knew what it meant. It was just 3 question marks. Until April 17th, when performance points were officially introduced. An alternative to the ranked score system, this was a system that was based on the skill of the player. It factored in the position of someone's play in the leaderboards and how old the map was. As a year after its ranking, a map would stop giving out PP. This made the leaderboards fresh, and it was incredibly hard to farm during this time. On top of that, the amount of PP you have would decrease by time, which would make players who were inactive for a year lose up to half of their performance points. On July 24, 2012, it officially replaced the ranked score system as the main ranking system. However, people were quick to find out the flaws in the system. The higher the rank you achieve on a map's leaderboard, the more PP you would get, meaning someone getting number 1 on a hard map would give more PP than getting an FC on an insane map. This would also give top players the advantage, as getting number 1 was pretty much easy for them. Because of this, people would instead use the alternative ranking system made by Tom94, known as TP. Since at the time the amount of PP a map gave was not shown, this video is going to use the TP system for this era in measuring the PP record. Without further ado, let's get into it. Our story begins 11 months before the implementation of PPV1. CookieZ had set a score on Chipscape with Hidden worth 344 TP, and this is regarded as the first PP record, at least by Aportic and Willie's PP record spreadsheet. And I will also start here because records from 2012 are very much rare, and it would be really hard to track down the first actual PP record if this wasn't it. On November 17th, CookieZ would beat it with a Hidden Hard Rock FC on Supernova worth 346 TP. But 4 days later, Nico would break that record with a DTFC on Chevron worth 364 TP. But CookieZ would snipe it back in a week with a 370 TP play on Freedom Dive, the another difficulty with Hard Rock. Which is totally not foreshadowing for what would happen in 4 years, definitely not. So let's move on to the first 400 TP play, Ruruchi's 2 miss on Remote Control worth 408 TP. Sadly, we do not have footage of this play, but it wouldn't be the last time Remote Control would be the PP record. This record lasted for nearly 4 months until CookieZ would finally beat it with a 457 TP play on Killer Song with Hidden Double Time. But he would smash this record with a 541 TP play on Remote Control a day later, and this was the first 500 TP score. There was a rebalance on May to June 2013, which nerfed this play to 527 TP. CookieZ was considered the best player of all time during this era. He held the PP record 5 out of the 7 times it was broken. Unfortunately, due to eye issues and a general distaste for Osu's staff, he cheated a 3 mod score on Masterpiece and the Refrain of the Lovely Great War to get himself banned on November 11th, 2013. His ban shocked the community. Within seconds, his scores were wiped. Luckily, some still survive today, thanks to the efforts of Tokaru, the owner of the CookieZ Replay collection, the multiple people who have uploaded an old replay of CookieZ's, and Willie and Aportic for the CookieZ Replays channel. Without these guys, most of these plays would be lost to time, so a huge shout out to them. After CookieZ's unban, Ruruchi's 419 TP play on Gimme 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 became the PP record, but he would beat it in less than a month, with an FC on Killer Song worth 440 TP. The record only stayed up for about 10 minutes though, which is probably the shortest length for a PP record in the history of Osu. Ruruchi sniped his own PP record with a 531 TP play on Remote Control with Hidden Double Time. Now, it's 2014, and Peppy is planning on changing the PP system. Not many people today are aware that during the deprecation of PPV1, Peppy would attempt to make his own interpretation of PPV2 around January 2014. This beta version of PPV2 was met with a lot of backlash from the player base, which is why Peppy reworked it, and with the help of Tom94, who had joined the Osu team, PPV2 was officially implemented on January 27, 2014. Ruruchi's 531 TP play on remote control would remain as the PP record, though it was now worth 517 PP, and he would become number 1 globally under the new system. This record would stand until the legendary HVIC225 would take the PP record for the first time, with a remote control FC worth 558 PP on August 17, 2014. In an attempt to take back number 1 on remote control, Ruruchi would overwrite his old score on remote control, losing 9 PP in the process. HVIC would keep this record until Covster would set a 577 PP play on Yuen Oen wa Kanojo Nanoka with Easy and Halftime on February 2nd, 2015. This map was a Tag 4 map, which was designed to be played by 4 players, but he would use touchscreen to keep up with the map's hard patterns and cross-screen jumps. This would lead to the disqualification of PP for Tag 4 maps a day later, and HVIC would retake the record with his remote control score. A high AR rebalance would come into effect a week later, so his remote control score was nerfed. A month later, he would beat it with an FC on AN Friends with hidden double time worth 538 PP, only to show his dominance with an FC on 7-7 11 days later worth 560 PP, and taking back number 1 from Wubwoof. However, this record would only last a day, as Index would set a 609 PP play on the last journey home with Hard Rock. Unfortunately, the map was disqualified, so 7-7 was the PP record once again. Until April 4th, 2015, when Wubwoof would FC Sakura Kagetsu with Hard Rock and Double Time worth 603 PP. Then 2 days later, a high CS nerf was implemented, putting HVIC225's play on 7-7 at the top once again. Soon after that though, Index got his redemption, when the last journey home would be ranked once again, and he got a 600 PP play that would last more than a week, with a 607 PP play on the last journey home with Hard Rock, finally giving him the PP record and Osu's first 600 PP play. This record would stand until July 17th, 2015, when Silver FC'd Ice Angel with Hard Rock, worth 614 PP. A funny thing about the score is that due to a glitch with the PP system, this was able to narrowly avoid the high CS nerf put in place a few months ago. However, before this error was found, HVIC would take the PP record with a 665 PP play on Miraizu with hidden double time. Then, a competition would start for the race to 700 PP. Rafis, HVIC, and Wubwoof were the most likely to get 700 PP, especially after Rafis would set a 666 PP play on Best Friends with 3mod taking the record, and Wubwoof with a 667 PP play on Defenders with Hard Rock. Both scores would have been 700 PP if they didn't joke accuracy. The laziest of noodles would then up the stakes by hosting a competition, giving the first person who sets 700 PP $1,000. But let's back up a bit, because I seem to have missed a crucial detail. On August 13th, 2015, a Japanese player named Burst Limit FC'd Blue Zenith with 99.89% accuracy. After a bit of digging, it was found out that this was Cookie Z. Cookie Z would then start live streaming on Twitch, playing Osu actively for the first time since his ban 2 years prior. On November 26th, he was unbanned, making him a competitor for the race to 700 PP. And he delivered, setting one of Osu's infamous plays on January 2nd, 2016. a 727 PP score on Blue Zenith with Hard Rock. He missed at the end jumps, but his accuracy was amazing that it didn't even matter. With this, the $1,000 was awarded to Cookie Z, and the PP record was back with the best player of all time. It took a while for people to catch up with Cookie Z, with Rafis, Angel Sim, and HVic getting 700 PP a few months after Blue Zenith. There were a few 700 PP maps doable at the time, with some examples being Best Friends 3 mod, Sakura no Uta, and High Score. New maps like Dream Solister would also get ranked, which gave others the chance to catch up, with HVic joining the 700 PP club by March 2016 with a 713 PP play on Dream Solister. Rafis joined in by May 2016 as well with a 708 PP score on, well, Dream Solister. But it would be Angel Sim to break the PP record on September 1st with a 730 PP play on Don Don. But this would not last long. The best play of all time. Cookie Z set an 800 PP score on Freedom Dive with Hidden Hard Rock, completely decimating Angel Sim's PP record. This was the first ever 800 PP score. This score was set pretty early and really showed how dominant Cookie Z was in 2016. No one even came close to this record for a while. While he did have the PP record though, he was competing with Rafis and Angel Sim for number 1. And it took until October 23rd for him to take number 1 truly. This record would stay until 2017, when he FC'd Remote Control with Hidden Double Time, and it was worth 817 PP. Unlike the previous record though, someone got really close to it, with US player Vaxei sniping Cookie Z's number 1 on the map a few hours after it was set. However, this was only worth 813 PP, so it did not become the PP record. It was really crazy that Vaxei was able to come close though, especially since before this there was only Freedom Dive Hidden Hard Rock. Only Vaxei and Cookie Z were in the 800 PP club for a long time. Of course, until that one incident occurred in November. November 15th, 2017. Freedom Diver would set a 900 PP score on High Tide 3 mod with touchscreen. He FC'd the map with 78% accuracy, which was a disaster for Osu and pretty much any rhythm game. This marks the second time touchscreen caused a problem for the PP system, and it was pretty evident that a nerf needed to happen, or at least a separate ranking system for touchscreen. So, on December 15th, a nerf on touchscreen was implemented with High Tide now being worth 400 PP, and Remote Control taking back the throne as the PP record. Now, it's 2018, and only 3 people have gotten 800 PP so far. Vaxei, Cookie Z, and Phil's the Llama with his 803 PP score on Shori. But one more person would join that club. Rafis. Rafis had been trying to get number 1 from Cookie Z, and by the end of 2017, he was really close, being less than 100 PP away from Cookie Z. One thing that he wasn't able to do though was get an 800 PP score. Until now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Kiedyś piątka na
Here we go! Yes!
Rafis had finally done it. An 829 PP score on Necrophantasia, and finally getting number 1 from Cookie Z. While Necrophantasia is no longer worth as much in the current PP system, it is still one of the most legendary moments in Osu history, as Cookie Z's year-long reign had finally ended, and with it, his PP record on remote control. Unfortunately, this record would only last less than a month, as FG Sky would take the PP record on February 15th with an FC on Shiori with 4-mod. This score took FG Sky more than 1,000 attempts to get, and with his setup, this score was pretty busted, but it was a bit anticlimactic. However, due to a rebalance with Hidden, this score was nerfed and Freedom Dive Hidden Hard Rock would once again become the PP record, and it's now worth 820 PP. This also coincided with Cookie Z taking back number 1 despite not doing anything, which was pretty hilarious. Matthew would end up taking back number 1 from him in May, and FG Sky would retake the PP record in June with an 827 PP play on Shiori with 4-mod. Soon after this though, a bunch of hard rock farm maps were ranked, the first one of which was Honesty. Idkey would take the PP record for the first time in his career with a Hard Rock FC on Honesty worth 835 PP. With 800 PP plays becoming more common, people were wondering what the first non-touchscreen and ranked 900 PP play would be. They didn't wait very long to find out because Carthy would get the first true 900 PP score on Honesty with Hidden Hard Rock. With this score, it was time for the community to set their sights on the most monumental barrier the game has ever seen, 1000 PP. During the time of Hard Rock, Idkey was the frontrunner for the first 1000 PP score, especially with his attempts on Road of Resistance and his recent FC on Uta with Hard Rock. Then a map named Cry Thunder was ranked, and Idkey did this.
It's coming home, kid!
It's coming home!
Let's go!
It's coming fucking home! Give me that number 1! Give me that number 1 right now!
Let's go!
Let's fucking go!
Let's go! Let's go!
Number 1! Fuck yes! Oh my god! Let's fucking go! Let's go! Idkey got a 981 PP score on Cry Thunder with Hard Rock, and with it, number 1 global. He was the first number 1 from the United States since Cyclone in 2009. With this score, it was clear he was the frontrunner and the most likely player to set the first 1000 PP score in Osu history, especially with his attempts on Road of Resistance. However, in an unfortunate turn of events, Hard Rock was nerfed on February 7th, nerfing his 981 PP score on Cry Thunder to a 936 PP score. This also ended the era of Hard Rock reigning supreme over the PP record, as multiple new farm maps were ranked, and 4 days after the nerf, Fiery Rage would take the PP record on Guess Who Is Back with Hard Rock and Double Time, worth 948 PP. When this PP record was set, people started thinking that the first 1000 PP score would probably be set with a farm map like Chikado Chica Chica, which had cross-screen jumps. The real question was, who would be the first person to set it?
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black?
After a period of inactivity, Vaxei would return with a bang, setting multiple noteworthy scores and being the first person to set more than one 900 PP score in one session. After setting the new PP record of 972 PP on Lonely Go with 3 mod, he was the new frontrunner for getting 1000 PP, which was probably going to be from some random farm map. Oh, how wrong that assumption was. Vaxei broke the biggest barrier the game had ever seen, with a 1023 PP score on Tsukinami, on July 8th, 2019. This play was insane, and the accuracy stood the test of time, as it is still the best accuracy for the map as of writing this video, with Sudinator only recently being able to somewhat match it, but came up 2/100 short. And after a play on Chikado Chica Chica, Vaxei would take number 1 for the first time in his career, and he reached 16,000 PP. But this record would only stay for barely a day, as Idki would FC Songs Comp with Hard Rock for 1035 PP. This score was also impressive as some of the streams were pretty spaced and the map was 6 minutes long, meaning someone had to be extremely consistent to FC this map, let alone do it with Hard Rock. But this score would only last for 2 weeks, as Vaxei would take it back with a Wizard's Tower hidden double time FC worth 1066 PP. And that's where the record would stay for a few months until one of the most hyped events happened. White Cat's unban. White Cat had been banned for 4 years, as the community had thought that he was cheating, and with help from My Angel Aku and Fire Digger, he was finally unbanned on September 22nd, 2019. Within a few hours after being unbanned, he would reach 2 digits, and after less than 2 weeks, he would set his first 1K on Bancho with a 1011 PP play on Last Goodbye with 3 mod. A week later, he would then set the first ever 1100 PP play on Magma with 3 mod, worth 1138 PP. The funny thing is, FG Sky was also attempting to get 1100 PP, and he got it the same day White Cat got it, with a 1137 PP play on Justadice with 4 mod. He was literally 1 PP away from getting the PP record from White Cat, 2 hours after he had set it. FG Sky would get his redemption though, as on March 4th, 2020, he set a 1,158 pp play on the same map, and 2 days later, he set a 1,260 pp play on it. This broke the 1,200 pp barrier for the first time. This record stayed for a long time until November 26, 2020, when Badu FC'd C-Type for 1,289 pp. After Flashlight had broken the pp record 3 consecutive times, it was evident that a change had to be made. So on January 16, 2021, a rework was pushed out that nerfed AIM, which led to Murami's score on Moikai becoming the pp record. Before the rework, it was worth 1,171 pp. Now it was worth 1,150 pp. If he had FC'd it, it would have been the first 1.4k pp score and the first 10-star FC, and would still be the pp record today. Jotbab would beat this score on March 27th with a DTFL score on Union worth 1,258 pp. This score literally came out of nowhere, and it marked the second time that the 1,200 pp barrier had been broken. At around this time, Whitecat's reign as number 1 had ended on April 8th, 2021. This guy named Emrek became number 1, and he was just breaking the game's limits. As of April 15th, 2023, Emrek is still number 1, and a few days ago he had reached 2 years of being number 1. He set a bunch of scores that broke the game, like the first DTFC on United. He would take the pp record for the first time in his career after a rework on July 27th, nerfing Jotbab's score and placing Emrek's 3-mod 2 miss on Sunglow as the pp record, which was worth 1,241 pp. It would stay as the pp record until a new rework put his 3-mod SS on Magma worth 1,194 pp as the pp record for 4 days. As a hotfix for the rework was put up, placing Stellarium as the pp record worth 1,192 pp. This would stay as the pp record for a long time. However, pp developer Sexar said in a thread there was this sleeper pattern that if used would give out tons of pp. This pattern remained unknown until June 9th, 2022, when Zane was ranked, which had the sleeper pattern, and Emrek FC'd it with double time. This score was worth 1,241 pp, which marks the third time the 1,200 pp barrier had been broken. And after this score was set, the entire community suddenly had a new farm map to play. 5 digits were getting their new top plays, and it became one of the most played maps ever, which woke Sexar up from his slumber, and a new rework was planned. But before that rework came into fruition, Kalanlu, an easy Flashlight player who would show off his skills by getting off 1k on This Place Will Grow and seeing the Unforgiving with Flashlight, set a couple of runs on Because Maybe Part 3. He got a 2-miss choke on the map with easy halftime in Flashlight, giving him 1,253 pp. This record would only last about a month until a new rework was put in place that nerfed Flashlight and easy plays, as well as fixing the sleeper pattern, and it put Magma at the top, and it was worth 1,216 pp. For about 2 months, there seemed to be no activity when it came to the pp record. It was just Emrek doing Emrek things with his keys on the music score and multiple other scores. But for the most part, that would all change when a keyboard called the Wooting was found, with the rapid trigger function of the Wooting keyboard giving speed players the opportunity to hit higher speeds of up to 340 BPM. Crazy plays from these top players started showing up, with people like Scytho and Roaz getting some crazy scores. Emrek would get a hold of this keyboard, and what he did with it was shocking.
Oh my god, how much is that?
Mało kiedyś, piątka na trzech.
Oh my fucking god! What the
After nearly 3 years since the 1200 pp barrier was broken for the first time, the 1300 pp barrier had finally been broken. Emrek would get a choke on Save Me with Double Time getting 1322 pp, which was 106 pp away from the previous record. Not only that, but Emrek would start setting groundbreaking scores like an If You Can't Hang with DTFC, worth 1228 pp, a Counterclock World Choke worth 1204 pp, and a New World DTFC worth 1240 pp, which would shake up the entire community and putting him in levels of dominance larger than Cookie Z's. But there was one other player who was ahead of everyone else in his skill set. Murami, who goes by Atrina now, or Peter Family Guy, was the best speed player of all time, and in 2020 he would FC Ascension to Heaven with Double Time, with him being the only player who was able to get decent accuracy with Double Time. This was the play that introduced us to this clip, with Ed's reaction telling us everything about how impressive this play actually was. Not only that, but he FC'd it with 3mod a few months later, but he had 85% accuracy. People at this time were wondering how Atrina would do if he had the Wooting keyboard. Well, on November 29th, his Infinity Gauntlet had arrived, and what he did would be shocking. No! Shit! 1,000! 1,000! 1,000! That's 1,000! That's 1,000! What? Goofy up pattern! He hit the goofy up pattern. Oh my god. I'm praying. I'm praying. I'm praying. I'm praying. Yes! 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 Let's go! Murami! Murami! No way! No way! A day after Atrina got his Wooting, he got a 1 miss stroke on Ascension to Heaven with 3mod, and he got his new top play of 1222 pp. But because Atrina knew that 99% of gamblers quit before they win big, he continued to try and improve and FC Ascension to Heaven, and he did it. On December 1st, 2022, Atrina got the PP record of 1357 pp on the map with 3mod, and he did it with 96.4% accuracy, which is unmatched in the dozens of C and D ranks on the map's DT and 3mod leaderboards. It was really impressive, and nobody is probably going to beat his 3mod score in a long time. But this did not remain the PP record for long. On December 7th, it was a normal day, and Emrek was putting in attempts on Marianne with DT, expecting a 97 or a 98%. But of course, Emrek, being the GOAT, got this score.
Oh my god, okay. I don't even care.
He got a 99% FC on the map, which is worth 1,371 PP, and it really shows how dominant Emrek truly is, and it is a representation of his current skill, with 287 BPM streams being spread throughout the map and patterns that would horrify anyone. And that's where the PP record stands today. As of writing this video, it has been 4 months since this record was set. Though I wouldn't be surprised if Emrek would beat it in a few weeks, months, or even days. Which means I have to make an update video about it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you want more, you can leave a like and comment and maybe hit that bell to get renders of old Osu replays and documentaries like this soon. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.